Helen Silaluman Wentielvo, a star shines on the hour of our meeting. Hello friends, I'm Narelon, Starfire, pronouns he, him. Welcome to the stream. It's Tuesday, which is of course Minecraft Day. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Playing some Minecraft. I don't know what exactly we're going to be doing. I assume I'll be working on that transit too, because that's what I've been doing for a while. So assumedly I'll be working on that. Hope you all have a good day today anyway. I hope your Tuesday's as fine a Tuesday as you can have. Mine's been fine. Like, it's alright, I guess. I'm quite tired. I've not slept very well the past couple of nights. And for back in the office, like working in the office for the first time in a few weeks, between some like annual leave and some working from home. It's, it's not as good, is it? Like, it's so much better being able to work from home. Like, it's an amazing difference. It really is. It's Minecraft month. Wait, it's Tuesday. Also, hi, B, right? When Loomis used to stream this, he always called we used to do it on a Wednesday. And Loomis always insisted that was Minecraft Monday, even though it was a Wednesday. So then when we did it on a Friday, when we moved it to a Friday, that became Minecraft Wednesday. So, so I guess Minecraft Monday is whatever day you'd like it to be. Oh yeah, I forgot about all my black t-shirts. So, hope you're having a good day today, Beer. I hope you're alright. Days of the week are a social construct, so honestly valid. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Excuse me. Oh yeah, more eggs. So, yeah, I mean, it's all like convention anyway. There's no like scientific thing behind it, is there? So yeah. You've created a space chicken. That did just fly off, did it? I don't know where that went. Loomis didn't like me doing that because they spent a long time getting all the chickens in the village and putting them in here. And then whenever I find an egg, I just throw it. So, that's why there's loose chickens around. We'd lay more eggs, which I then throw. So, Did I? What was that doing last week? How far did I get? We wanted to do Minecraft Mondays, but Wednesday was the only day we could all get together. That was it. Yeah, I've already double tracked it here, and I don't know if do I need to have ice like the double width, or will you won't be able to fall down if you're in the. You won't be able to fall down, would you, if you're in a boat? So maybe we don't. Anyway, hi Loomis. Hope you're having a good day today. Tuesday's treating you well. But yeah, Lewis is right. We liked the idea of doing Minecraft Monday, but I couldn't make Mondays in those days. So, oh yeah, that was it when I had I made a mistake here, didn't I? So we'll have to be working on this today. There's a lot more glass needs for that. Maybe I should just open up the chicken run, clearly it's not appreciated. Oh yeah, there's okay. I'd wrecked the pickaxe, I know. That was the thing. I mean, I appreciate your work. I appreciate that you did that. I just, also, occasionally throw eggs around. I mean, these things happen. God, there were that many chickens everywhere again. Bad enough before. You didn't wreck the pickaxe, you're just innocently wondering if there's another enchantment to replace the one you didn't wreck. Exactly, thank you, Virat. I'm glad you appreciate the subtleties there, because that's very true. Okay, so did I mostly double track it? It just needs a lot more glass putting in, doesn't it? Right, yeah, I think we're getting up to the limits here. Yeah, so I mean, if I got more glass, I can complete the loop. Okay, that's not so bad. Also, a sense of presence. Is there anybody there?
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Medication stuff's really messing me up at the moment.
Sorry to hear that. So that's the voice of friend of the channel, Loomis of Phelan, pronouns Zizo.
Hello everybody, hope you're all doing good. Hi B-Rat. Yeah. You remember not so long ago I got very angry and upset about things that visibly didn't happen in an episode of Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, I do. Yeah, that was that was the thing that happened.
Yeah, well I did it again.
Oh no!
I've just done it.
Was it also an episode of Battlestar Galactica, or was it just like something else?
It was something else this time.
Was it like just flying into a rage over like?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why was the Enterprise in the fleet? Loomis, it wasn't. And actually, technically, it is very briefly at the beginning, but let's blink and you'll miss it. Yeah. So is the Serenity from Firefly, by the way. Anywho, yeah. So in the beginning of BSG when they're like first setting out, and there's like tons of ships everywhere before events occur. They put in a few like ships from other franchises.
Okay.
There's like a little like hoo.
Yeah.
Blink and you'll miss it kind of thing.
I never noticed those.
Oh, I mean, neither did I. I only noticed them because, like, at the time, like back in 2004 when it first aired, people were like, "Look at this!" And I was like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah.
But anyway, so what did you?
I remember.
Sorry, go.
I remember watching the creator commentary on Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah.
And in the beta chase through the city, apparently there's a little cameo scene where down one of the streets you can see a TIE fighter and an X-wing having a dogfight. And I was like, even having them describe that it's there, I still can't see it. I've watched the scene like 5 times. My eyes are not connecting to this.
Did they say? Oh, if only I had some emeralds. There's a scrivener here. Yeah, like they say it happens. But...
Yeah.
Why is okay? Never mind. But yeah, I mean, what did you get mad about that didn't happen this week?
Well, we were discussing Order the Sticker, long-running Dungeons and Dragons webcomic, and theories about what was going on in it because it approaches the end and what the characters were up to and stuff. And I sure had a lot of opinions on what was going to happen during that conversation, and I went and looked back at them afterward, and I was like, these are all wrong, and I know they're wrong.
Oh no!
I've forgotten really important key scenes throughout this entire conversation and just said nonsense.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
What am I doing?
That's so there's a side effect to the old medication here.
That's what I'm blaming it on. Yeah. I've been very slowly coming off of these medications for 2 years now. But as it's getting closer to the end, the withdrawal effects are hitting me harder and harder.
Okay.
When I was on 36 tablets a week, going down to 35 tablets a week, isn't actually that big a reduction, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but this time around I've gone from 3 tablets a week to 2 tablets a week, so that's one third of my tablets gone, and it is messing me up.
Oh.
So yeah, that's my excuse. That's what I'm sticking with.
Sure. Oh, I haven't read Order of the Stick in years. Ah, there you go. So I've heard the name and I've heard people make references to it, but I've never read it myself.
I would put it in the top 3 currently running webcomics,
Wow.
at least of the ones that I read.
Sure.
And yeah, getting quite close to the end now. It's on the final book.
Oh, nice. If it's D&D related, surely they need to carry it on in order to cash in on the popularity of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. But Baldur's Gate 3 is 5th edition. Order the Stick is 3.5.
Oh, there you go. That's very different.
Yeah. That's 5th edition didn't exist back then. In fact, the joke of the first ever Order of the Six actual strip is about the characters being upgraded from 3rd edition to 3.5 and having their entire reality change around them.
Nice. There was another webcomic about like turn-based strategy games on their site that I cannot for the life of me remember.
Earthworld, yeah. That one I stopped reading a long time ago. The first book of Earthworld was a really good story, but it was, you know, like part 1 in a wider tale, and it got significantly worse and significantly more problematic as it went along. I stopped reading a long time ago.
Yes, Earthworld. Yeah, I stopped reading both years ago. Okay.
Yeah, they were never by the same people though. They were just on the same website for some reason.
That's sad.
Yeah, the first book of Earthworld was so good, and I can't believe how bad it got from that great start.
Oh no. Is it like the descent from Series 1 to Series 2 of Married at First Sight US?
Yeah.
I've never actually seen Series 2 of Married at First Sight US. We watched it in Series 1 in Kirchhoff's Discord, and then they watched Series 2 like what would be work nights, or started watching Series 2 that would be work nights for me, so I couldn't watch it, but apparently it just got real racist, so it's like what? Because I mean it's always going to be like wild, and it's going to be ridiculous. Have you ever seen like, you know, you're very familiar with, from the name alone, with the principle at Married at First Sight, and it's like utter nonsense, and like the US one feels like more nonsense than the UK one somehow.
Yeah.
I think mainly because they had like religious advisors on the US one, which is, I mean, he was like a humanist, so you know, even further questions. But yeah, it felt wilder still. But nonetheless, apparently it got really racist in the second series, so no thanks.
Yeah, I think the thing that finally pushed me off of Earthworld, in terms of the problematic stuff, is that like, so part of the whole thing is that it like runs on real world memes.
All right.
Like, well, it's an isekai story.
Ah, okay.
A guy from our world goes to a magic fantasy world, but part of the thing is that of the infinite number of worlds available to choose a champion from, it's chosen one that like matches up with its needs. For example, the main language in Earthworld and English are identical, just by pure coincidence. Like there's an infinite number of universes. You can find one where that coincidence has happened.
Right, sure.
So yeah, part of the whole thing is that a lot of Earthworld concepts line up with like real world jokes and memes and things.
Sure. Just by chance.
Yeah. To give like the summoned hero like an intuitive understanding of what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, I can
like,
do that.
Yeah. And like there's similar things, like the laws of physics in Earthworld are like a board game in our world.
Yeah.
And like the scenario of the first book, that the military scenario he finds himself in the first book is very, very similar to a D&D campaign that he was just about to run.
Sure.
You know, so on. But yeah, the part, so all the way through it's referencing memes. You've got like heroes, you've got like warriors called Leroy Jenkins and stuff like that. A lot of the panels are designed to look like famous scenes out of shows and things.
Sure.
The part that made me check out though is that they got to a there's a scene in which a character is being tortured, and it references real-world torture pictures, like of actual people still alive.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Like
that's uncomfortable.
famous pictures taken in like real-world conflicts happening now,
Yeah, that's
and it was super messed up and not really okay. Like that, those things are not jokes.
no, that's
This
no.
is
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So on the problematic side, that's the point that I stopped reading.
Fair enough, I would say. Just to catch up with chat. Sorry, you were talking about Married at First Sight? Yeah, in series 2, they start off with the advisors or experts wondering which of the contestants are comfortable with race mixing. And we stopped right there. Yeah, I mean, even the terminology, that's just, no. That's just, no. Yeah, that's, yeah, that's rough. That's not cool. I can't believe how many emeralds we spent, by the way. Like, we're down to like less than 1 row of emeralds, and we used to have like 5 rows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we don't use them for anything except buying stuff, but still, like the principle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with spending them on this project. We'll build them back up over time.
That's true. Maybe at some point we should go on another jaunt somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been like doing a lot of, working on this tube. I feel like it might be fun to, get out and see the countryside,
Yeah.
So go for a jaunt somewhere. That could be fun. But yeah, and the using like real world torture pictures is sort of I don't like that at all. I mean, as you'd expect, I think it just feels like unnecessarily uncomfortable, or maybe like deliberately just being like there to shock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Like, aren't we edgy kind of thing?
Yeah. Like I remember there was a big outcry on the forums, people saying like, these are real people. I can give you a list of their names right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not cool at all. I don't know. Yeah, I don't blame you for not reading further, honestly.
Yeah. That was about halfway through book 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the vibe that the creator was an edgelord, probably right-winger or lib at best. That might have been why I stopped reading it, but it was so long ago I barely remember it. Yeah.
I really enjoyed book 1 at the time. I don't... Maybe if I reread it now, I would not feel that it held up.
Yeah.
But even at the time, aside from the ethical stuff, I felt like the quality went down a lot. Like,
excuse me, please.
book 2 had a really long sequence of like nothing happening. Mid-action scene, characters just started talking and talking and talking without nothing.
Oh.
And then, as we were saying, it increasingly moved away from being a comic to having like one picture at the top of the screen and everything else was text. They did a prequel as a text book, and it was really bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
And then the comic itself moved more and more towards being lots of text instead of actual comic stuff.
Yeah. Why is the next question?
They were having some sort of issues with their artists. They didn't really talk about it, but there was like, they went through like 5 different artists in book 2.
Okay.
and then went through a similar number in like the first chapter of book 3.
Oh, okay. So
So I don't know what they were doing for their artists, but it probably wasn't good.
yeah.
So that's why it was increasingly text-based, because they couldn't keep an artist. But as I say, the book was terrible, and the text bits of the comic were not great.
That's
And
yeah.
yeah, and say book 2, even when there was art, there was an awful lot of not much happening. And then book 3 was worse on every front. Every complaint I have about it was massively more pronounced in book 3 than book 2, which was already a lot worse than book 1.
Alright, yeah, so that's just not worth carrying on in that regard, is it?
Yeah.
That scenario.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling particularly inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were actually going to do something really clever that would do justice to the weird torture stuff they were doing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I need to move that, don't I? Yeah, like, it's be very difficult to like justify it anyway, I think, and then if it's just not enjoyable or whatever, then yeah.
Like, I'm not. It could conceivably be done right if you are making a really good point out of it, and you were very good at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think they had the skill level to pull that off, and I don't think they were trying to.
It reminds me of so many like things I've seen with like it's like be right, it's like at best libs, at worst right wingers doing that kind of like the shock value stuff, but it's meant to have a point, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just that
Cutesy cartoon characters, except they're doing real world war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, at least in book 1, you had the main character going, "Oh my gosh, you're doing real world war crimes," even though you're cutesy cartoon characters. But after the end of book 1, he's kind of gotten used to it, I guess. Yeah.
We're doing racism ironically. No, it's actually just racism. Yeah, absolutely. It's the same with that when you see the kind of ironic misogyny and stuff. It's like, no, you're not. It's not ironic. You just be misogynistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I don't like that still. It must be really uncomfortable. And yeah, even if it was done right, it makes me uncomfortable. Inverted commas right. I don't know what right would be in this scenario. Like, I watched recently rewatched Life on Mars, which I finished the other week. And as I said, there's a lot of, first of all, it's propaganda, right? Just get that out there. It's got some really good bits, and there's some like clever ideas. It's, and like I said before, it makes me sort of nostalgic for that. Didn't know what was around the corner. Thought things were actually going to get better. Blair era. Some of us are old enough to remember that. I do notice a lot of the like left wingers I interact with actually don't remember that, which makes me feel very old. And obviously Blair was still bad at, he's a neo-lib, whatever. I'm not saying that was good, but it's got that kind of that spirit of the era, which felt nice at the time, right? Where you're like, Blair sucks, but things have, like, we've genuinely experienced things get better, so this is a great time. And then we just like went, where the biggest like scandals embroiling MPs were the then Prime Minister calling a bigoted woman a bigot. Right? That was Gordon Brown's biggest scandal, wasn't it? That he said, "What a bigoted woman," on a hot mic about a bigoted woman. And a Labour MP talking about white van men derogatorily and pointing out the giant oversized UK flag as evidence of him being like not a good person. But you don't get that anymore. So it does make me nostalgic for that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. The other week when I was joking about how I was talking about the Transformers storyline where Ratbat became leader of the Decepticons.
Oh yeah.
because like there was nobody else around from the leadership. And it's like he was actually really good at it because he was very sensible and practical, but he wasn't powerful enough to actually stay in charge once the other leaders showed up and just took over.
Yeah.
Like that's the Gordon Brown story, right?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like he wasn't powerful or charismatic.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, yeah, I'm going to be a safe pair of hands, and oh no, there's been a massive international economic crisis. Don't worry though, I can carry. Oh wait, no. Like he was better than Blair, right? Like he made himself worse. I always thought that he like to try and get to become prime minister one day. He like went along with everything that Blair did, and made himself look really petty and awful. Like he's still not necessarily like he's not a communist, right? But he was one of those like sort of centre left Labour MPs who were like, we can use the system to do something good, and largely didn't.
Yeah.
But at least I've got a fondness for that year, even though it was still awful. And like don't get me wrong, I'm not like praising New Labour as such. Just like musings of when I was younger. But anyway, Life on Mars.
Yeah.
But what I was talking about, that's so much glass. Thank you so much, Lewis. That's so much glass. I can do so much of this tube. And then it can become another Tonsfield line, and we'll just never use it again. But yeah, one of the things I was saying is Gene Hunt, the main, not the main character, he's like the foil for the main character.
Yeah.
He's not really an antagonist, but he's he's there to be a very clear foil of the main character. And like he says a lot of like un-PC as we used to call it, like sexist things, or he'll say something that's like casually ableist or racist or whatever. And like it's obviously there for the main character to be shocked about, right?
Yeah.
And to kind of be like, no, he can't say that. And he's fine, like sure, but he's too charismatic. We've talked about that before, and that for me is like the big problem, that you're not doing it ironically anymore, right? It's not there for the main character to be shocked about. If you're not careful, you're just having like a popular telly character say bigoted things. And that's like his big failing, because they've got another character in there who's just awful, right? Like he's absolutely awful, and everyone knows he's awful, and he says like says and does like racist and bigoted, misogynistic and whatever things, and like he's obviously bad, and nobody's going to like question that. Nobody's going to look at him and go, oh, maybe he's got a point, or at least you would hope not. So if he was the main character, like he was the main character's foil, then I think the message would be much clearer. Because, like, actually, I'm going to use the glass now. Because, he's an unlikable character.
Yeah.
But by having the likable Gene Hunt do it, you're just actually, like, reinforcing it, aren't you? You're just actually going, yeah, this is okay, really. Yeah. And like, even though the creator of it has kind of said, actually, this didn't work out the way I hoped. Like, this is, ended up as an, I think people will take this as an endorsement, not a criticism. Yeah, but that's on you, though. Like, I get your regret, but it's still happened. Not you personally, I'm talking about the character. No, you didn't make Life on Mars in 2006 on account of being 18. Well, I guess you could have made Life on Mars. In which case, why did you do it, Lewis? Hold yourself accountable.
Well, I mean, you had to set it back then because you can't say these things now. So if you want to say those things, you got to make it a history show.
Well, that's true. Sorry, I'm just like in my head going over the fact that you just compared Gordon Brown to Ratman. Because when you're right, you should say it. But
it works on so many levels.
Yeah, it really does. That's just fantastic. I'm still just like reeling from that revelation. Yeah, will that even grow grass, or is it just going to look awful? We'll see. We'll see what happens next. But yeah, like I've said it before, like the Gordon Brown era, Blair era, like it was terrible for in myriad ways. But I do remember that they like stopped a school falling down, so that's the thing.
I mean,
Oh wait.
That's better than where we are now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And of course, then you've got whole arguments about what neoliberalism encourages, and I'm not necessarily never going to defend it. But I've also like you get a certain amount of practicality and be like, yeah, that was a good thing, even if everything else is awful.
Yeah.
Which is how I tend to look at these things. I remember being so pleased when like Labour won in '97. Like being yes, I was only a little kid, and I was a but a child, and I still sure. Dang it. And I was still politically aware enough to believe that was a good thing, because the Tories were defeated, and that's what mattered. And then of course it went quite what I would have liked, which apparently my dad had predicted, but as a kid I didn't really understand that. And my grandma apparently was like, "No, don't worry. He's going to do like real Labour things when he gets in." Like he didn't. He didn't, gentle viewer. He didn't. But my grandma believed. My grandma and her family were all like left wingers. And like staunch Labour voters and stuff. So they were genuinely thinking that like socialist policies and whatever. Which alas, no. That's not in fact what we got. And see, the thing is that I don't think I could even say like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it." Yep. Sorry, yeah, your noise.
I'm back.
That's alright. Yeah. I was just made to briefly jump by the sudden noise of your chair, mic, whatever it was that scraped.
Keyboard tray, I think.
Oh yes, that's alright. I was just musing about my childhood. I don't know that. Hi, 7th Streety. I don't know what that acronym means. Hi, anyway, though. Hope you're having a good day today. Maybe I'm an old man. Don't understand the speech of the kids these days. I mean, I am, but that might not be what's happening here. Okay. Oh, I've done it again. Until that pickaxe gets repaired, I can't correct my mistakes either. I got something else I was going to say, but I've forgotten it now. I got sidetracked by thinking about the Blair years. He goes. And Gordon Brown as Rat Bat. That's the important takeaway for today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll fix that bit at least, even though I've also made things worse. That's something. Yeah, in a way, that's what you can do. I'll do that later. Yeah, I gotta get priorities, right? I've gotta get priorities right here. I've got to kind of finish doubling the width of the transit tube before I start messing around with filling in the holes that I've created. Okay, what if... No, that's not going to work. Let's do what I just did. I'll be fine. Oh, well, yeah, it'll do. But that's going to be a rate. You know, it's fine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. It's fine. Do I need to change the whole thing? I think I do. Anyway. Enough of my musings to the dinner.
Also, I gotta call out both you and B-Rat.
What for?
For the fact that I'd just talked about how I was getting worked up and nonsensically angry over webcomic stuff, and then you got me talking about Earthworld.
That's true. I mean, in my case, out of ignorance.
No consideration for my needs.
Look how shocked B-Rat is. I love that face so much, but it's the sheer look of horror. I love it. When I should have brought up worm, exactly be right.
The work I will never criticize.
It has a calming effect on your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Worm Earth's latest serial's almost finished, actually.
Oh, nice.
Pale.
Is that pale or kale?
Pale.
Pale.
Yeah.
Like
It's the best one since Worm. Maybe better than Worm. I don't say that lightly.
That's high praise.
The two are tied for my first place. I can't decide which one I like more.
Ooh. That's a big deal for you to say that.
Mm. Yeah,
Okay, like a very big deal.
I do not say it lightly.
So what's it? What makes it so special? What is it about? Tell us more. I know you like to, so.
So Pale's an urban fantasy story. It's so Wildbow's second book was a story called Pact. It was urban fantasy. It was much shorter than most of their works, and it wasn't one of their best books. Not their worst either, but like not top tier.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Well, until Ward came out, it was considered to be the weakest of the books, but still good.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pack didn't turn out great, but it established a very interesting setting. And Pale is set in that same world.
Okay.
It's not a sequel. There's not much in the way of interactions between the two, but it's the same setting.
Alright, cool.
So the sort of blurb for Pale is that an important spirit has been murdered. One of the 4 judges that rules over this region and presides over magical affairs has been murdered. And the local spirits, who very much don't want wizards showing up to investigate, because wizards are very prone to, say, putting spirits in bottles and making them do their bidding.
Sure.
Nonetheless need to be able to tell the world that this important murder is being looked into by wizards, so that the wizards don't show up to start looking around. So
Makes
they
sense.
turn 3 teenagers into wizards,
Okay.
with the idea that they'll ostensibly be looking into the murder, and therefore, the spirits can honestly say this wizard's looking into it, but won't actually, have the knowledge and authority to cause trouble for them down the line.
Good plan.
Difficulties arise when those 3 wizards begin to actually investigate the murder.
Okay, I like that. Okay, this is turning more troublesome than I imagined. Okay, yeah, I like that as an idea. Any setting or like any story where somebody's brought in because they assume they're going to be like incompetent or not interested or whatever, but then actually turn out to be really engaged with it is always good.
Yeah. And just from its core concept, it's a really good deconstruction of a lot of urban fantasy and
Nice.
non-specific wizarding school stuff.
Oh yeah, sure.
In that a lot of it is shown from the perspective of the spirits and the monsters living in the world.
Ah, I like that.
Like in your classic story where you've got your monster hunters going around chopping up monsters so they don't interfere with the masquerade or cross the paths of innocence or what have you. This is you kind of see things more from their perspective, where they're trying to live their lives too, and they've got monster hunters checking them up and wizards turning them into servants and stuff.
So it feels inconvenient, to be honest.
Yeah. While at the same time not glossing over the fact that a lot of these spirits are very dangerous to other people. Like, a lot of them can't help it.
Yeah. Like vampires and such.
Yeah.
That's an awkward term, but I'm going to leave it in. Or like, you know, needlessly extra vampire twinks, perhaps. That's a reference to that's a reference to Baldur's Gate, but it's like, you know, giving a little popular reference there, you know. Baldur's Gate, it's got a. That's what people. This is what cool people are doing these days, right?
Yeah.
Playing the old Baldur's Gate, so just establishing my credentials as a cool dude by being like, just casual references to Baldur's Gate. D&D is cool now, exactly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, personally, I don't know if I'd support D&D considering, you know, recent events and some of their practices, but you know, if you've got no morals.
Look, I mean, sometimes as a business you just need to hire the Pinkertons. Or it just happens, you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Sometimes Pinkertons need to get hired. It's, you know, it can't happen to anyone. I still can't believe they did that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like, what a wild turn of events. So then we hired the Pinkertons. Every time. Like, what's the thought process there? Who thinks that's a good idea? But yes, like, yeah, like Wizards of the Coast's hiring of Pinkertons aside.
Yeah, so Pale's a very cleverly written deconstruction of urban fantasy cliches,
Nice.
showing things from the perspective of a people that are often oppressed in such works.
Oh, nice.
Also considering things from a very multifaceted point of view.
Nice. Sounds good.
I think between it and Worm, just my personal feelings on not being able to decide which one I like better.
Yeah.
I think Pale is objectively better written.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the authors improved a lot, and this is their peak writing.
Oh, nice.
It's very well written. It's very clever. It's a really good story. Really, really thought out characters.
Nice.
The thing that makes me lean towards, the thing that makes me still put Worm up there.
Oh, do you have weapons free, by the way, Lewis? Yeah.
Guns, guns, guns.
There you go. But yeah, the thing that caused you to put Worm at the top.
Is let me send this report.
Sure.
After action report.
Oh, no, of course, rightly so. That's why I like Dungeon Keeper, playing the classic fantasy hero versus villain trope from the view of the villain. Yeah, I really like Dungeon Keeper. I played the first one so much as a kid. I played the second one as well. It never like charmed me as much as the original, but I loved all the quality of life features. I guess in a way it's been similar to my relationship with Seven Kingdoms and Seven Kingdoms 2. Oops. That's fine. In that, like it's the second one is like objectively kind of got better. It's got the better like game features and stuff, but there's just like a charm to the first one that the second one never quite managed to match. You know, that was my feelings there. The original definitely had more whimsy and better sound design. Yeah.
The original Dungeon Keeper or the original Seven Kingdoms?
Both.
Fair enough.
This is true about both games, actually.
Yeah, I think the original Dungeon Keeper would have been the better of the two if it was good.
I still like Dungeon Keeper, but sure. Well, I said maybe actually probably Seven Kingdoms 2 actually had the better sound design, but it had the music was better in Seven Kingdoms. In fact, the version of Seven Kingdoms 2 I had didn't ever play music. You couldn't it was lacking the sound file, the music files. I don't know how or why, but it was bizarre when you think about it. But there we are.
Yeah, I'm trolling a little, but Dungeon Keeper 2 did make the game mechanically a lot more playable.
Oh sure, there is
just separating magic from gold was a huge improvement.
Yeah, oh absolutely. Like I understand why having just like your money, right? I get it. But yeah, definitely it's a lot better if you.
Yeah.
Where's the glass need to come in here?
Yeah, so the thing that makes me think Worm might also be my favorite book as I put them side by side is that I've never connected to any fictional character ever as much as I did the lead character of Worm.
Ah, yeah.
Like that felt like a genuine bond. The level on which that character reached out to me.
Yeah, okay.
Like when Worm ended, I felt genuinely lonely for that character, as though a friend had left my life.
Oh.
Like I've never had that kind of emotional reaction on that level to like any other character in any other work of fiction. So that's something you gotta put on the table when I'm trying to decide what my favorite book is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's bound to have an effect on your opinion, definitely.
Yeah.
7K2 has a lot of the same sounds, and the 7K2 Steam version I have plays a lot of 7K1 music in it. Yeah, the Steam version I've got does as well, which I greatly appreciate, because the music's so good from the original Seven Kingdoms. Like, it's just really, really good music, like game music, you know, it's really fun. Controversial, maybe, if anybody else had played the game. But I think the music rivals Twin World as the best video game music of that kind of era. Like, of the pre-2000 era, shall we say. Of the 20th century. Let's be but say how it is. I think so.
Oof. Ow.
That's everything okay?
Yeah, I just took a mine card to the face.
How and why?
Well, just
yeah, these things happen, don't
doing my maintenance on the bamboo machine.
Ah, sure.
You know, sometimes the signal disappears from the repeaters and the cart stops going. So I was just, walking up the minecart path to make sure that the signal's still going, and a minecart came in the other direction, and as it does. Yeah. Ow.
That's yeah. Occupying all the mana vaults so I can spawn infinite gold. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I definitely thought the first Dungeon Keeper had more like charm to it. But as you say, the second one, like it was like building on the first. I think very well. I think there were a lot of factors that were better, like is it training pits or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
Fighting pits, whatever, where you could train people beyond level 4. That's actually very useful and appreciated. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Like you say, separating gold and mana. More humorous lines from the narrator.
Yeah.
I don't know what the being is, like the commentator.
Yeah.
I don't know how you describe him. But yeah, like there's lots of like fun elements from adding. But there was a charm to the first one that I really, really like.
There was, yeah.
Like, just thinking about it, the heroes were at least some of them D&D classes. Because like you got like monk.
D&D races, but then back in the early editions, that wasn't always the difference.
Yeah, because like you got samurai, you got monk,
yeah,
wizard, witch, warrior. To be fair, all fantasy was not all fantasy, but a lot of fantasy was a bit more of an amorphous mass in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it felt like a D&D reference in particular. It was just playing with the same tropes.
Yeah. I do that, by the way, that in 3rd edition D&D, there are like 2 samurai classes which have nothing to do with each other. That's fun. Or is it 3?
Yeah, don't look at how many ninja classes there are.
I kind of like it when you get loads of unrelated, because it feels real. I was talking with Beer the other day about polearms, right, and how I'm going to catch up with your comments there in a moment, Beer. Polearms, you know, and they get confusing because, like, you know, it's halberds, vultures, and glaives, and so on. And I quoted, it was a person called Oakshot, I couldn't remember the name, who, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, I can't remember the original quote, said that in every region, the same polearm had a different name. In each region, the same polearm had different names, and in every region, the same polearm the different polearms had the same name. I completely butchered that. I got distracted, but you got the point. And it's true, like you see the same polearm given like loads of different names. You see loads of different polearms given the same name. Just because it's like familiarity, and like people know that like a certain polearm is called this, so they call similar polearms that, or they kind of like know the name but don't necessarily like have an example of the thing. Yeah, but yeah, just to catch up with your comments. I did really like the variety of trap design in Dungeon Keeper 2, like making elaborate barricade and cannon corridors. I think the Dungeon Keeper 2 narrator had a lot more camp, and that was good. Dungeon Keeper 1's ultimate boss, the avatar, is actually just a player character from the Ultimate games down to the character design. I never knew that. That's really cool. But yes, I do like the extra camp for the Dungeon Keeper 2 narrator as well. What were you going to say there, Lim was saying? Kind of interrupted you. I was commenting my appreciation for how you've got more than one class with the same name in 3E of D&D, and now that feels realistic.
Oh yeah, about the polearms thing. I was going to say, like, whenever you've got like a region or a culture's iconic sword and it has its own cool name, you can guarantee that cool name is just their word for sword. Like the sword didn't have its own unique name. It's just that was the people there's word for sword that they referred to their swords with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's 2 completely different swords that are referred to as a claymore, and that's because claymore just means big sword, and they were both the big sword in style at different times.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's kind of like a point I'll often kind of like make about just like typology of swords in general, right? Like we look back at like the Middle Ages or whatever, and we go, oh yeah, that was a great sword, that was a short sword, that was a long sword. Like, they didn't make that distinction. Like the terms like great sword, long sword, short sword, whatever, were just descriptors. They weren't types. Like a short sword was just a sword that was shorter than you'd expect like an average sword to be. A long sword is just a sword that's a bit longer than you'd expect. Like they weren't specific typologies. It was just, oh yeah, that's kind of a short sword, I guess. And it caused the problems because, like, in every generation, or not always, but for a lot of generations, they just call swords swords. Like, there's no distinction in the Middle Ages made between, say, like what we might call a Viking sword or a spather, and you know, like a knightly arming sword, as we'd call it now. They certainly didn't call them that. That's a sword, isn't it? You're telling me Zweihander, definitely not just the German for two-handed sword. Exactly. It's like a special, like, super term, right?
Yeah. Like, these days we use it for a two-handed sword in the German style, but that's not how they used it.
Yeah. Just German for two-handed sword.
Yeah.
Or two-hander. And I quite like that. I think there's something quite funny that we adopt these terms as like specific localisms. When really it's just because that's the term they used in that region. Is it no dachi that means big sword?
Yeah.
I quite like that. That also reminds me that it does not say World War One Memorial on World War One memorials. It just says World War Memorial. Yeah, absolutely. Great War. It says a lot around here.
Also, Daikatana, big katana, in slightly more recent Japanese.
I love stuff like that.
I mean, that one at least is a slight difference in styles, and that katana refers to a specific style of sword making. Dachi is just sword.
So yes,
Although,
kind of works a bit more, right?
Yeah. Although once katana were invented, they didn't really make dachi anymore.
No, they didn't really. It just like became the thing.
Yeah.
And also legendarily awful game, Daikatana.
Yeah.
Is it? I've never played that. Is it about what it's about?
You know, I've never played it either. All I really know about it is that it had a really bad advertising campaign.
Oh no!
So it's by the makers of Doom, actually.
I have like it.
And-
Although,
Yeah.
yeah. For a minute, I thought I'd like misremembered that. I'm like, no, it is. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I think it was by the Breakoff Studio Ironstorm. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Hang on, let me just check. Yeah, that's right. It was technically a different studio, but mostly the same people.
Oh, sure. It's a bit like Black Isle making. Sorry, Oblivion. Obsidian. I can't get my words out today. Too tired. Obsidian making New Vegas, and people are like, it's the makers of the original Fallout games, and you go, well, actually, that was Black Isle Studios.
Yeah.
But it's essentially largely the same people.
Yeah. In particular, John Romero, the lead for Doom, was also the lead for Daikatana.
Ah, sure.
And their advertising campaign was John Romero will kick your ass at Daikatana.
Sure.
That was their pitch. That's what they put on all the posts and all the promotions.
Like, I mean, he made the game. He probably assume he can.
Yeah.
I played the whole thing and I could not tell you. It was about about what the game was about. It's about as convoluted as a Kojima game, but not nearly as coherent. Oh, that is some damning words. Wow,
And there's something telling in itself of the fact that it's such a famous game, and yet I know absolutely nothing about the actual gameplay or story or anything about it.
Just that John Romero will kick your ass.
Yeah. I think it also had one of those marketing campaigns that was really focused on, like, your mum will hate this game. She won't let you buy it.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah.
I remember those in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe I was too young, maybe I was too well behaved. But I remember kind of thinking at the time, like, why would I want to buy a game that my mum would hate? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, am I supposed to hate my mum and, like, buy it despite her? That was going on here.
I mean, it's along the lines of, like, when there was the trend for bands to try and get a parental advisory sticker on their CDs as a mark of honor.
I get you.
Yeah.
I kind of made a mistake the way I've done this. Weirdly, Ironstorm also made Deus Ex. Ah, interesting.
Which, yeah, really good game.
Ah. Guess you can't win them all, as they say.
Terrifyingly pathetic in a lot of ways.
Which also had a story as convoluted as a Kojima game, but that one was good.
Yeah.
Nice. I've not really played many like Kojima games. I played some, I think. I've certainly seen people playing them. I think I've played like one myself.
Which one did you play?
The first one, I think.
Metal Gear for the MSX?
Might have been. It was a very long time ago. It was probably for a PlayStation, actually. It was whatever the first one for PlayStation was.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that must be it, I think. But it wasn't like the actual, like... It was like a game that... I don't even know if it was like... I don't know what it was. It was like a spin-off-y thing. Or something. Sorry, go on.
Oh, did you have the VR missions thing?
No, it wasn't me. It was a lad I went to school with.
Okay.
Basically, my dad used to teach an after-school class. As you know, long-time fans will know. And so that meant on a Tuesday and a Thursday, because I went to secondary school that was like a distance away from where me and Lewis lived. Because this is the school my dad taught at, and my brother had gone to sixth form there after he'd had a really bad time at the local secondary school. Don't get me wrong, he'd done well, he just didn't like it. It made him depressed. So I decided to, cut out the middle stage and just go straight to the school that my brother actually liked. Also the school I talk about being awful. You know how it goes. And this lad lived just round the corner from school, not far at all. And so on the Tuesdays and Thursdays when we had an after school class that lasted till 4:30, this lad said, well, instead of just waiting for your dad, why don't you come to my house for an hour and hang out? So it was cool. So I did, and he got a PlayStation, which of course I had not got. I'd never had a games console until the PS2, which I got in 2004, 2003, Christmas 2003, I think. And yeah, one of the games he'd got was this kind of Metal Gear Solid-y spin-off thing, which may be VR missions if that's a thing that exists.
Yeah. I never actually had VR missions. The only Metal Gear game that I've not played. I forgot about it until this moment.
Wow.
But yeah, the original game had a sort of a mini game thing called VR Mission, which was a VR mission thing. You did single stage sneaking events that were in a simulator kind of thing.
That seems legit.
And I think they made a whole spin-off game that was just sneaking puzzles kind of thing. None of the story from, because the actual game had a complex story and you were infiltrating a base and it was all tied together. I think all the VR stuff was just same game mechanics, but they were more one-room puzzles. How do you sneak through this rather than a story?
That makes sense. That kind of fits what I sort of remember as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the one I played. So not very convoluted because it didn't really have a story. But I've seen people play other Metal Gears. I saw I used to went up years ago. When I watched the first streamer I ever watched, which is Squid Gaming. And she played through Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. Is that a thing that exists?
Yeah.
Because she's a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid games. So.
Yeah, I really like them myself. The ones I'd recommend.
Yeah, so she played through them, and that's the first streamer I ever watched. And was the reason why when you started your YouTube channel with Asmath, I was like, are you going to do some live streams? Because they're really fun. And that's what I was thinking at the time. That's my only experience with live streams was watching Squid Gaming on YouTube. Yeah. When she could fit it in around a shift at the phone shop. I was I think because she was already an established YouTuber, right? She'd been interviewed on the telly on gaming specific programs. She made YouTube videos, and she just did the occasional stream on YouTube, and there would be I don't know 100 people in or whatever, of which you always get I don't know 10 or 15 chatting, and it was really nice. And of course now she's gone to be this huge streamer, but it was nice to kind of be there at the beginning. But it wasn't quite at the beginning. But you get the point.
Yeah.
That's fun. I remember thinking how they're going to pick a canon ending to Deus Ex to set up Deus Ex 2. They literally just went all of them. They all happened at once. There were 3 mostly mutually exclusive endings in Deus Ex 1, as I recall. And also they took the Daggerfall approach. Yeah, it all happened. Don't worry about it. I can hear a
Yeah,
zombie.
it's like we all knew which ending from Deus Ex 1 was canon, but also like it would be the least interesting of the 3 endings to make a sequel on. So
Ah.
it's like, are they actually going to do that? Or but yeah, they went with all 3 happened at the same time, and they all messed each other up, and now everything is complicated. Yeah, it's not a Daggerfall. Yeah, it's not an Elder Scrolls thing in like it's wibbly wobbly what happened, the timelines. The timelines divided, and in some places one thing is true and another is true in others. It's more that the endings were more about which faction you aligned with.
Okay.
Different factions wanted you to resolve the final scenario in different ways. So what they went with is that all 3 factions made their attempts simultaneously.
Okay.
Got in each other's ways and messed stuff up.
Nice.
But all 3 endings sort of happened.
Okay, I get you. That's fun. I think the zombie, wherever the zombie is, they're underground. I don't think they're a threat. I can hear them, but I can't see them. I think that's okay. Ah, the reassuring rattle of the factory. That's fun. But yeah, I've never played any. Like, I've heard people talk about the Deus Ex games, but I've never played them. I think you explained them to me once, or at least explained the concept behind one to me once. I think Loomis, but
Yeah. I remember us talking about like the cyborgs in it one time.
yeah, that's
It's one thing that I really like.
yeah.
It's the particular tension between you as a new model nanotech cyborg who can largely pass for human, and the older mechanical cyborgs who cannot pass for human.
Yeah.
Like you're being rolled out as the new model, and like you could theoretically live a normal life, and they've given up everything to get their upgrades, and now they're outdated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. I was like, hey, that is a storyline. The first one is fantastic. They get worse as the series goes on. Emo.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. But will John Romero kick your ass?
Deus Ex?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Can't rule it out.
Yeah, see, that's what I need to know if I'm going to buy a game. You know. That's important to me. What about George A. Romero, the creator of Night of the Living Dead? Is he involved too? I don't think so.
You're telling me that Doom and Night of the Living Dead weren't made by the same person?
Not as far as
Because
I
I mean,
know.
the overlap is. You're telling me there's 2 John Romeros who like make weird horror stuff. It just doesn't sound plausible to me.
I think one of the John Romero's spells and pronounces his name slightly differently. So.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, I mean, they could be the same guy. You know?
Yeah, it's like the John Romero who makes zombie games and the John Romero who makes zombie movies. Not the same person. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it seems too convenient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the zombies in both, exactly. I mean, that would be it. Or imagine if that was the tagline to your game, like George A. Romero will kick your ass. Like there'd be a lot of questions raised by the tagline of the game. And that, my friends, is how you do viral marketing. Oh no, I'm just picturing all the adverts that have like a photo of George A. Romero, probably. 'Cause, I mean, is he dead? I don't know why I'm assuming he's dead. He's probably still alive, which is sorry, George. Doing like a YouTube angry face, you know, like the faces that people do whenever there's like pronouns in a video game, and they're like, "This is awful." and or like all those people who do YouTube videos that are just the thumbnail every time is them doing an exaggeratedly angry face with like a downward stock line, and it's saying GW is ruined. You know them. That's like all they make at everything that GW does. Like even the ones where it's like they have to cover the story of GW making record profits, and they do an angry face and a stock line going down, and do like an hour-long video about why that's actually proof that the business is failing. Which is, you know, an interesting angle. Judge Romero says your mum won't let you watch this movie. Exactly, that's the marketing we need. The people in the 90s, you know, they've got their heads screwed on right. But yeah, that's
any word on Scouts, by the way?
Yeah, they're bringing out new Scouts. They look really nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, on whether the Scouts can legitimately be used for both kinds of Marines.
There's nothing to say that they're tied to either. I don't know enough about the Primarity process, about which point do you get the stuff that makes you Primaris, not just like a traditional Space Marine.
Yeah.
Because depending on how you interpret the decades of lore, Scouts may or may not have all the enhancements. But they've not got the Black Carapace, right? So they've not got the last couple.
Yeah.
But there's some that are like, yeah, they're just Space Marines except. And there's others like, no, they've not even had it all yet.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there's any reason why. They look like the original Scouts. Down to the goofy, like, hairstyles.
Okay.
Which I think is very important. That, you know, if you're a Space Marine, you need to like have something.
That's the teenage Space Marines.
Exactly. They're literally teenagers, right? But yeah, they've not really said either way. Because they've been doing that a little bit with like some things now, like the Empress Champion model for Black Templars. People were like, is it a Primaris Empress Champion or is it a Firstborn Empress Champion? And GW said, why not both? Like, do you want it to be a Firstborn Empress Champion? Then you can be a Firstborn Empress Champion.
I mean, you'd be able to tell by looking in that case, right?
Which one would be taller than the other? Basically, the height is the thing. But is he just a really tall Space Marine? Like the Alfarius effect. Like, is it a really tall Alpha Legionnaire or is it Alfarius? No one seems to know.
Also, I have to question is like is that not reflected in their stats whether it's Primaris or regular Space Marine?
Not anymore. They haven't done for a few years actually. They've got the same stat line. Because
like, why are we bringing out Primaris Marines if they have the same stats as the original Space Marines?
Because they want.
Is that not the whole point that they're doing improved?
Yeah. They wanted to do a range refresh, and they knew that Space Marine players wouldn't be able to cope with that emotionally, so they had to invent an entire storyline about why they needed to make new Space Marine models. I'm only partially joking, by the way. It's generally reckoned that is it, because whenever they make any change to the Space Marine line, people like absolutely pitch a fit. So
I thought it was just the copyright issue that we needed a new name.
I mean, some people have said that. It's probably like more than one factor. Right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
But part of the reason is a lot of the Space Marine models are actually quite old. And so, like, the Scouts are one of the oldest models in the range, right? I mean, not like compared to the Eldar. Why, yes, we do have models from 1992 in our collection. What do you mean? But like and like the bikes are from the 90s as well. Like the less popular Space Marine stuff, like was really getting old.
I am frequently surprised by how old a lot of the designs are.
Yeah, like it's like some stuff you're like, sure, they came out in 2017 or whatever. But sometimes you are just like, wait, 1992.
Yeah, I always have it in my head that they update the designs a lot more often than it always turns out they do.
Yeah.
Like for Eldar, sure, believe that the designs are ancient, but for Space Marines, I feel like they're probably bringing out new versions every year. That makes sense. The top of the line ones.
Yeah. I was like, no, actually, this is from when you kind of look at something, you're like, yeah, that's dead recent. Came out in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
See, I always just think it's because I'm an old man, and so not really. Oh yeah, they brought them out really recently. Narelon is 20 years old. But yeah, it has been said that because there's always a backlash whenever they bring out new Space Marines. The new whatever, because they used to, right? They used to bring out like new Space Marine units or whatever. There was always like refreshes of existing ones, and there was always a backlash. So there's an idea that the whole thing is a plot, like reason to make new Space Marine models and to phase out the old ones for the new ones.
Yeah.
Which I sort of believe, honestly.
If that's true, it feels like they put in a lot of effort to find something that would annoy people more than what they were already doing.
Yeah, I'd say it was a good idea. It's because the interesting thing is, like, Primaris themselves are now 6 years old. Yeah, like a lot of the Primaris models are 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I think what it does as well is it gives them room to make new units, because people always like when they introduce Centurions, which I never liked, by the way. I've never liked the Centurion models. People got really mad because they're like, well, where's this in the Codex Astartes? Why have they only just got these? And they have to be like, oh, well, they found an STC or whatever. And then people would kick up a fuss. Which to me is silly. Just like, okay, cool, new Space Marines, whatever. Surely.
Yeah.
But people did. They always get mad about it. So I can totally believe that they've come up with like a whole fiction for new Space Marine models, because people get mad every time they bring out new Space Marine models. And a lot, because the older ones are 6 years old now, and there are a lot of people who've started playing 40k since the Primaris came out. We've had people in chat who are like asking questions about like what to me is like just common Space Marine units, and it's like, because actually, a set of stone brick stairs that probably belongs to me. But to them, they're like a quaint old model, whereas to me they're like the normal thing you'd have as Space Marines. Which is makes me feel old. That's what they said. But yeah, I mean, they could have done it better. The Mark 6 Space Marines for Horus Heresy aren't that much shorter than Primaris. They're a little bit shorter, but they're not as drastically shorter as like the current Firstborn Ranger. Because all they've done is fix the proportions, and it makes Space Marines a lot taller. Just give them like normal sized legs.
I don't know. I was kind of fine with their weird proportions. Some character.
Yeah, that's how I liked it. I also understand that like the fixed proportions on like the Mark 6 actually look really, really nice. But at the same time, like the fact that the Space Marines were like as wide as they are tall was it's kind of part of the fun. There used to be only one line of Space Marines. All right, Grandpa, now let's get you back inside. That's how I feel right now. Or worse is when they stop selling a line of models that you're like always going to get round to buying, but never did. Because in your head they're still quite recent. So you're like, yeah, I've got plenty of time. But they've actually been out 10 years. We've stopped selling them. So yes, I think that's basically what's happening. Like the Primaris Outriders, and they look better than the old Bike Squad. But that might be heresy to say. The old Bike Squad was showing its age, shall we say. Although I was looking at them, because obviously they've stopped selling them now. And I was looking at them, and I kind of regret never buying an attack bike, because I always liked attack bikes. And when I looked at them, even though I was still thinking about buying one anyway, they look kind of rubbish. Like it's a motorbike and sidecar with two Space Marines. And when you look at it, like this is so simple. and like the proportions are weird, and you're like, how would he actually aim that gun?
Yeah, the bikes never made sense to begin with.
No. Do you think it's Judge Dredd had bikes? Is that where Space Marine bikes come from?
Maybe.
Or is it just like bikes are cool, therefore, you know, Space Marine should also have them? Sorry, go on.
I'm remembering an old White Dwarf article, one of the conversion articles about somebody who'd converted all of his attack bikes into quads.
Oh, yeah.
On the basis that, the attack bikes are really stupid, and at least a quad bike could actually maneuver on a battlefild.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember thinking, like, why wasn't it that way to begin with? Like, I'd buy these quad bikes. They look awesome. I would not buy the regular bikes. They are very silly.
You mean there's something silly about riding around in a motorbike and sidecar on a battlefield? Like, I don't know what you mean. That happens to me with everything. I'll get around to doing this soon. 5 years pass. Oh, I'm terrible for that, but right, I do that all the time. But yeah, like, I mean, they've introduced a Space Marine quad bike now, right? Like, kind of little go-kart thing, and it looks kind of awful. Well, it does look awful. It just needs slight redesign. It'd look decent, I think. You just need to make it look a little less go-karty. And like a little bit more like a... You know, the Gene Stealer cults have a quad bike, right? And it looks cool. A Space Marine version of that would have looked really good.
Yeah.
Instead, we get the Mario Kart of 40k. Also, there's like no arm protecting the wheels at the front. That's just something. Just put some just like a piece across the front would have made that look a lot better. You know, like mud guards over the front wheels, and like just a bar connecting them. So you've still got a lot of the wheels available because you need your cross country performance, right? But just something would make the Invader ATV look a lot better. Hi, Loomis.
Hi.
How's it going?
I think we spent all of tonight running around in circles doing nothing.
Sure.
So I'm feeling weird and agitated.
yeah. I'm in a funny mood today, and just
Yeah.
I can't really settle to anything major.
I've got a lot of things that I could be working on. I just haven't picked one.
Yeah. I'm just looking at harvest. Oh no! A villager just died in front of my eyes.
What?
Like, he just climbed the rail, right? They hopped up the rail, like hop up to here, level with me. Looked me in the eyes, looked over the rail, and jumped off.
Oh.
That was terrifying, but also funny. Yeah, you saw that, Mira, right? Like they looked me straight in the eyes and then jumped off. Was it a protest? Was it like a cult thing? Well, they didn't have to. That was. I know you put up this safety rail to stop people doing that, but it's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's working. Yeah, they did that, and then they looked me straight in the eyes, like that, and then they just jumped off. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, he landed exactly where they did. Well, they died. You know, like in a horror film where someone looks the one of those really unsettling ones, like body horror ones, where somebody looks the hero in the eye and then hacks off their own arm or whatever. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Ooh.
Evil Dead. It happens in Evil Dead, right? People dismember themselves all the time. Yes, as B-Rat says, the safety rail needs a safety rail. Maybe we just made it one higher all the time. Or...
Yeah. See, when I built it, I was under the impression that metal fences were the same height as wooden ones.
Ah, right, yeah.
Which turned out to not be the case.
Mm. Maybe if we just built the metal fence into the same height all the way along, So it forms like a metal tunnel around the stairs, and then it'll look even more like a prison.
Yeah. It was supposed to be kind of like a railing as well. But...
Yeah.
I mean, that already makes it a lot more intimidating and unpleasant. So, yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I like it's gone from like a cute little handrail to to make it look like you're being trapped here. Like,
Yeah.
you can still get atop it, but I don't know if a villager can.
Like, it was supposed to look just like a little fire escape kind of thing, but now... now it looks like you're being locked into your work location.
The 15-minute cities thing is true. You're going to be assigned a district and not allowed to leave or something. Let me fix the sign. Days since villager death, 0. Yeah, that was the weirdest one. Like we've had villagers die before, but like that was the strangest one.
Yeah.
Like obviously we lost a lot in the siege. That was a terrible day. We've had people just disappear. Does that one who got struck by lightning in front of you? I guess.
Yeah.
I imagine that wasn't very fun for you.
First time we've seen somebody hurl themselves off the fire escape of the factory and protest against our capitalist ways.
Obviously, what we need to counter it are wage cuts and price rises.
If we increase working hours, labourers will be too tired to climb up the fence and jump off of it.
That's true, actually. That's a good solution. You obviously need more of that. What were we talking about before that happened? Space Marines, probably. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we all know the Eldar models are really old, don't we? Like there's a lot of models that were in the range when I started collecting in 1995 that are still there.
Yeah.
That I was like, wow, these models are really new and cool. Here we are, all these years later. 28 years later, it's still here. That's so strange. Hope your eyes clipped it. And clip the villager, we need a record of this mysterious death. Hold on, I've got to have a look at that. I've got to take a look. Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking at harvest. Oh no, a villager died in front of my eyes. It's the way I'm just like leaning on my hand, just talking in this really flat voice, and then just, oh no. There's a good clip there, but you're right. Just that, so that's really quite a flat oh no as well. Oh no. For some reason, like a very like understated reaction to a horrible event. Like, you know, like when he's saying something that should be an exclamation, but it's actually like just said in a really flat effect. Is for some reason really funny to me. That was a very British reaction.
Well, oh, Marjorie, the boy is dead.
Yeah. Exactly. Just Johnny, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. I should like have a spiel assembled for like when people do raids, and I still don't because it's a rare occurrence. Yeah, welcome on in. Just joining raiders. Thank you so much for the stream. Thank you, Loomis, for the shout out. Mega Van, and welcome to the stream. How was your stream? I hope it went well. Playing Baldur's Gate 3. Very nice. We were talking about that earlier, very briefly, because I was bringing up Vampire Twinks. But that's, this just happens. Yeah, anyone who doesn't know, I'm Narelon Starfire, pronouns he, him. I stream painting models on a Sunday and Minecraft on a Tuesday, and with me is friend of the channel, Loomis of Failing, pronouns Ziza.
Hello everybody, welcome in.
How was your stream? Hope you had a good day. Thank you very much for the raid. I really appreciate that. Just Johnny, that's really kind. It works with seeds as well. Sorry, no man. That's you press the middle mouse button, you bring to the seeds thing. Like I should have known that. But that's still is. Thank you so much. Thank you for the shout out. Yes, Asterion. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't even remember how it came up, but I just took the opportunity. Which Discord channel do you put clips in, by the way? The streams one? Is that the streams one, would you say, Loomis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's streams one.
Yeah.
Discussing
streams goes there.
Cool. Yeah, Loomis always calls it like our Discord, but Loomis was the one who like set it up and everything, so I always defer to them on Discord matters. Yeah, anything concerning like our streams, because in streams, we've not really like done any YouTube videos for a long while, but they would that would go in your tubes.
Yeah. Stopped doing them over COVID because we couldn't meet up, and so I never picked them up again.
Yeah, they're on our YouTube channel. Let's listen to our YouTube channel. And like we're gonna have some like stream kind of VODs there as well, aren't we? At some point. I know there's already those from your old streams, but like at some point through Loomis's kind efforts.
All your painting streams, and that will go up on there.
It's cool. We're very appreciated. It was a pleasant stream. It was a pleasant stream. I had my first raid in ages too. Oh, very good. All right, really glad about that. Just Johnny. Thank you again for raiding. That was really kind. I'm glad it was a very pleasant stream. Like I really would I'll be honest. I've got like the strong urge to buy and play Baldur's Gate. But I'm also really tight, so the thought of spending 50 quid on a game, it just makes me wince. And yes, I will spend like 50 quid on other things. Like I'll buy a 50 quid model or whatever. We were talking about this last week actually, weren't we? But I don't know if I can bring myself to buy a 50 quid game, even though I really want to play it. It just looks really like, and then like a big part of that is like watching Kira Chat stream it. And Just Johnny's also from Kira's community, by the way. And
yeah, I guess.
Oh wow, thanks. I can't just get a raid on my own. Huh? Wow, thanks, Lewis.
I mean, it was somebody you clearly knew, and they're not from our Discord. So I mean, there's only really one other place they could be.
I mean, not untrue. But yeah, it looks really fun. Like Kira's making it look really fun. I can definitely see the studio's hand in being like similar to Divinity Original Sin, by the way. I can definitely see similarities there, but like polished and developed. And obviously the D&D setting, and it does look a lot of fun.
I was talking to somebody the other day about Baldur's Gate 3 actually, and what I was saying is I haven't really seen people talking about how like, you shouldn't play Baldur's Gate 3 if you haven't played the first two, Like, those are the classic originals, and people who weren't around back then are just jumping in. And, like, back in the day, we had to deal with second edition mechanics, and they were complex and terrible and really messy and difficult. And, we suffered through that, so we've earned Baldur's Gate. So, like, the people who are jumping in on Baldur's Gate 3, with the easy for babies 5th edition stuff, they've not earned it. They can't do that. So yeah, I was saying how I haven't heard anybody saying that, and it's really upsetting to me because Baldur's gatekeeping is such an easy joke.
That's true. It feels like we're missing out. It feels to me.
Yeah, somebody could be setting me up for that, and they're not doing it. That hurts me.
I love that. That is a good point. I definitely appreciate it. Well, now you're a lovely fella, and when I saw you streaming, I wanted to check in on you. Oh, thank you, Johnny. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that sounds very nice. Yeah, please don't play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. You can play 3 instead. Bira is familiar with them all.
I think the first two are good games, but they are dated.
Yeah, I hear the UI is really bad.
It's not great.
Do you have Thaco in 1 and 2, or is that like pre-Thaco?
You do, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Third edition was when they got rid of that.
You know, when I was at uni, and we were studying, we did a module that was about like historiography. Because if you don't know, I've got 2 degrees in history, a BA in history, MA in medieval history. We had a module in my second year on, was it called level 2? Was that were they called levels? Years? I can't remember. Anyway, on historiography, which is sometimes described as the study of history, right? It's like studying how approaches to history have changed over the years, the kind of the philosophy of it almost. It's actually really important to kind of help you understand how history has been viewed and been used over the years. Anyway, part that you have to look at is Hegel, right? You have to look at the Hegelian dialectic. And I always remember the seminar leader who took it. It was a medieval historian. And she said, don't worry if you don't understand the Hegelian dialectic, because nobody does, and that includes Hegel. And I feel like Thaco's the same.
Yeah.
Also, I think of that quote every time anyone plays or talks about New Vegas, because obviously Caesar in New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas, talks a lot about the Hegelian dialectic, and he's completely wrong. Like, he's completely wrong about it. I'm like, yeah, nobody understands it. The doctor's words come ever more true.
I mean, Thaco wasn't that complicated, really. It's like you roll your dice, you add your hit bonus, you take away your enemy's armor,
Oh, okay.
and then if you get more than a 0, you hit.
Sure.
So that's why lower is better for your armor, because that's what you're removing from your opponents to hit.
Okay.
But like it's adding a completely unnecessary stage. Like the new thing of just having the armor be positive and saying you roll better than the armor. It's the exact same thing. It's just quicker.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they made it for babies.
Yeah.
And like a baby could play D&D now. That's a bad thing. Yeah, I was about to say, I can't stop thinking about that meme quote video about Hegel. There's a brilliant... sorry, go on.
You used to have to think when you were playing D&D, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you had to understand a little bit about numbers.
No, it's people just want you to hold a hand, right? They don't.
Yeah.
But the meme video we are referring to is a brilliant one with like somebody the quote like Caesar talking about the Hegelian dialectic, and just being like completely wrong, and then there's somebody going, "You don't even understand Hegel. That's not what he meant," and so on. Like he specifically said that's not what he was referring to. And it's very true. By the way. What Caesar says about Hegel is stuff that others said about it that Hegel himself said was not what he meant. A child could play D&D now. Is that the world we want, where children can play games? Exactly. You're right, and you should say it. But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reasonable concern, because like if D&D is simple enough for children to play, children might end up playing D&D instead of like a good system.
Oh. Yeah, I played 3.5 for a little bit, and the skills were too fine. You've played a lot of 3.5, right, Lewis?
Yeah, that was my main tabletop RPG for a long time.
Yeah,
it's by far the D&D that I've played the most of.
Sure. Is that one you used to play at sixth form?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I've never I've played a little bit of D&D, but I've never actually played that much. But I've done like quite a lot of tabletop role playing. Like I really love Dungeon World as a system.
Yeah.
Like because it's powered by the Apocalypse, if you're familiar. So it's like a very much like a stripped. You just rules light, you know, and focus. There's like heavy focus on like your narrative side of it, and that for me is what I love most. Like, you know, even though I'm like a tabletop war gamer more than anything else, I much prefer being able to do the role play side of it rather than the roll as in of dice side of it.
Yeah, like most of the effects of your rolls in Dungeon World are more narrative prompts.
Yeah.
Than actual mechanics.
And I like that. I like being able to, you know, well, you know I do. People at home might not. But yeah, Loomis ran for a long time this very, very fun Dungeon World campaign. It was really, really good.
I still want to go back to it when my headspace is better.
Yeah, one day we will.
One day.
I want to play Leithano again.
Yeah.
I really like that. Was my character. He was an enchanter, which is essentially just like a reskinned artificer, right?
Yeah.
But he's sort of like.
Yes, the
sorry. No.
Like the artificer rules were really fun because there was so many different things you could do with them, but all of us hate steampunk. So.
Yeah. So we weren't gonna do that. But it's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I really like my character. Like he evolved over time as well. Like as a good character should. And he became the team dad, didn't he? And his just inability to make good decisions under pressure. You know, like if you give him time, he could come out with all kinds of good schemes and ways of doing things. But put him under pressure, and his decisions are always terrible.
Yeah. Oh, we do have. Sorry, I should let you read it out.
There's nothing quite like the suspense of rolling death saving throws, though. You do have those in Dungeon World too, and because it's Dungeon World is very much like D&D as done with like Powered by the Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So it carries a lot of like D&D stuff over, which some people have actually said it's missed a chance to like do things better in some places.
Yeah, in a few places. Like we use the expansion classes for like the mage and the priest a lot. Because I mean, we use both sets, but the reason they brought in the mage and the priest is because a lot of people felt like the cleric and the wizard were too D&D, and that they have a very D&D casting style, which doesn't necessarily work great with Dungeon World.
Yeah.
It's too how do you put it? Too locked down.
Yeah, I guess so.
But like you have spell lists and they have specific effects, and almost everything else in Dungeon World is freeform.
Yeah, so it does feel sort of out of place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I remember kind of like thinking that at the time, like when I first kind of like got it. You know, when we used to be friends with a fella who had like a copy of the book, and I had looked through it and everything. Did he lend it me for like a week, as was his wont?
Yeah.
And like I remember reading it and kind of feeling like it stuck out. Everything else is very like free. Same with the paladin, although less so.
Yeah, so those spell lists are very D&D, and that's part of what they tried to correct with the priest and the mage. But I mean, we use both. We use the originals and the reworked ones as different classes, and I think they kind of work together in that as different casting styles within the same universe.
Yeah, definitely. It almost feels a bit like the sorcerer and the wizard, right? Like that kind of contrast.
The way I tried to flavor it is that like the wizard is using known spells that produce known effects, and they sort of grow stronger by learning more known spells, whereas the the mages freestyle casting. Every time they cast a spell, they're making it up on the spot. So they've got a lot more versatility, but it's also a lot less reliable and a lot more costly.
Yeah, it's in the kind of the expanded classes, the mage. Something always goes wrong whenever you cast a spell.
Yeah.
There's always a downside.
Yeah, even on your best casting result as a mage, there's still a consequence. Whereas when a wizard casts a spell right, everything goes fine.
I really like that element. I think narratively that's really fun. Like, let's say our friend, former friend Angel, he ran a Dungeon World campaign for a while, and I played what is probably one of my favourite characters I've ever played. Like, I love Leithano, but Theowith the Wise was so much fun to play. He's just awful. Like, just a con man, like a bit of a con man. Like, he's this powerful mage, and he spends a lot of his time cheating people at cards, dice. He was so much fun to play. And the fact that every time I'd cast something, a thing would go wrong, actually really worked with his character narratively, because he's kind of reckless. Yeah. And half the time he's casting magic to get himself out of a mess that he got himself into. So when things go wrong, well, of course, yeah, like he's doing it on the fly. Yeah. I think it was really fun to do. I've always threatened to revisit that character, just have him appear in a different setting. Because he died after he tried to rob a dragon. So having him he had already kind of cheated death in that moment, right? So having him turn up somewhere else would actually, I think, be a lot of fun. Honestly, I think D&D has too much fine-grained variety. There isn't a fundamental difference in playstyle between two classes. They're probably not necessary to have. Yeah, I could agree with that. You might have more thoughts on this. I know you're more of a D&D person.
Yeah. I mean, I think for all my jokes, I don't think D&D is bad as such. I think it doesn't suit my style.
Yeah.
Fair and so accepting that it's appealing to somebody different to me, I can see that the fine grain, heavy character customization mechanic stuff is part of the appeal. I don't think it makes for good gameplay, but I'm not the person buying their games, so they should probably be putting in the stuff that the people buying their games like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like when I've talked before about Huskadoo, who's one of Kira Chat's mods. When he talks about what he likes about D&D, and it's so utterly different to what I like about TTRPGs, that you can see a game designed for us both wouldn't really work. We could probably play them, don't get me wrong, but it would never going to be what we would really like.
Yeah. I've certainly played D&D and had fun. Not just back in sixth form when that was our go-to game, but more recently I've played 5th edition with people over the internet. I've had a good time some of those times.
I like the caveat there. Oh wow, you absolutely fly! This is incredible. All the turns are actually incredibly destructive, though. Disruptive.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo!
Come and have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, I was playing with people on the internet. It's to be expected that the results were variable.
Okay, that's ridiculous. Can't control this at all.
But yeah, while it's not the system that I'd choose, and it's not a system I'd run, it's a system I have had fun playing on occasion.
Okay, we gotta watch the doors and corners, because that's something we need to sort out. But on the whole, tremendous fun. But yeah, I can totally see that. The bits I did, I think some of the fine grained kind of variety, the messing around, tinkering with the options and stuff. I think there's something fun about that I do enjoy.
Yeah.
And down to stuff I'm gonna need to take a length of rope with me and stuff, right?
Yeah, there is something really fun about sitting down and thinking, okay, I'm gonna build my character, and having so many options in front of you that you can just look through and be like, oh, this looks like it would be fun to do, or this would work well.
Yeah.
That is something you can enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do like that, but I think like when you get to the actual game, I much prefer the more kind of like rules like narrative kind of free flow.
Yeah. Like
But,
the big thing for me with D&D is just that it's so slow. Particularly in combat. Combat is glacial.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Well, let's give this a go.
Yeah, once you get onto the blue ice, you'll see.
Whoa! Help! Terrifying. I feel like I'm out of control. This is actually a little too fast. Like maybe using regular eyes. So we could maybe reserve the blue eyes for like the motorway kind of thing.
Yes. It's
I don't
wild.
think it belongs in the city.
There's something fundamentally unsafe about it. I love it. We've definitely got to do something about the platforms though, because you like immediately careen off the track when you go through. Maybe a series of gates.
I can't even get this turned forwards as I go. I just spin around at random. Ah! Yeah, I can definitely see myself taking a corner, careening up the platform, and going flying out into the lake.
It's so unsafe. I kind of love it already. Like it just feels like a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's what I love it. And definitely all the corners kind of ruins it. You want this to be straight lines where possible. I know obviously we've got to build around the village, right? But
yeah.
Woohoo! It's the way you spin on the spot. Like he's so controlled. It's like being in a coracle. You gotta correct for the spin. It'd be interesting if they ever did a modern city builder D&D game. There was Stronghold from 1993, which I still boot up every couple of years. That could be fun. Yeah, I think I remember Stronghold coming out. Well, I remember it being advertised. Spinning around like a villager stuck on a railway line.
I like that on your screen my boat wasn't really spinning, it was just my head going round and round.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, your head's like doing an exorcist. Now the boat's kind of spinning and clipping a little bit. There we go. It's a wild ride, isn't it?
I don't think this thing is remotely safe. Excellent job.
Like, we could have had like a tram line or whatever. Or we can have this.
Yeah.
This beauty.
In the boat and go at dangerous speeds through the transit tube. I love it.
It feels right, isn't it? I think what I'll probably do is fill in the holes in the platforms and just have a single gate. Unless you want the added danger of maybe just flying out.
Could be part of the fun.
So it does feel a little bit like Action Park at the minute.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Action Park was for people at home who might not know. Action Park was a theme park like a water park. Nice. In the US, it was in New Jersey. I can't remember where it was. I think it was New Jersey, where like it was just like horrendously unsafe, and people kept getting like it was all designed from the ground up. It was like by this guy who thought it'd be fun, but he like wasn't a ride designer or an engineer or anything, and everything like he's a rich dude essentially, and it was all just his whims, and like everything was like horrendous, and like people were the local council made the man buy a pair of ambulances for Action Park because they were complaining about how much the local ambulances were getting busy with people from Action Park. Just to give a sense of scale there, like there was a complaint that people couldn't get an ambulance in the local area because they were always collecting people from Action Park. I think I saw a documentary about it. Yeah, we did watch it in the Kira Chat's Discord once, but I don't know if you were there for that, but you're right. I think it was called Class Action Park. Pun on class action lawsuit, you see. And yeah, that was fun. But yeah, it's like it's tragic because people died. Like people died. Hence the name. But it was horrendously unsafe. Eventually it got shut. It got like taken over and rebranded. I don't know if it's shut down now, but like it was like nice. Like, at one point there was like a wave pool thing, and at some point in the day they realised there was a dead man at the bottom of it. And they just not noticed. Nobody had noticed because the water was too murky. Which, I mean, that in itself, the water was too murky to spot a corpse. Why would you go in that? It was a while ago, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the documentary's been out a while. I'd never like really heard of it until we watched it there. But yeah, it's just this thing about it. Like the water was so murky they didn't know there was a corpse in there. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've clipped through. No, I didn't clip. I fell through the hole because it's not fully sealed off yet. I've fallen into the sheep. Again, very, very class action pack, isn't it? It's not fully sealed off, so my little because you sat down, right? So the little boat skidded out underneath and fell into the sheep. Hi.
Hi.
It's so unsafe. I love it. Excellent. Now, they were talking about D&D characters before this one. Yeah, the character creator in Baldur's Gate 3 looks really, really fun. Because you know me, I love a good character creator, don't I?
Yeah.
And it looks really good, and it's got some options that are really nice that you don't normally get, which is good. A ton of hairstyles and stuff too. I think they understand, like Larian when they were making it, understood that like you're gonna be putting a lot of yourself into it, aren't you? So, like you would in a D&D character. Although you can't currently change your character once you've created them, although they've said that they're looking to implement a way of doing that. Like you can respec your character, but they didn't. You can't like change their looks. You can steal your party members' clothes though, which is important. They knew their audience. That's why the game is so horny. It is as well. They knew what people were going to. A lot of people were going to do with it.
It's fun to have the option to change the looks because I remember in Dragon Age 2, which has big time skips in the story, had a way to like redesign your character. So after every time skip, I made them a little more grey and gave them a few more wrinkles.
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
Like they ended up looking ancient by the time they were 30, but also those had not been good years. Those had been difficult years for them, so I stand by that.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. The gate does nothing. It's like in the game Twin World, where partway through the story, partway through the game story, your character has a beard, which I think is meant to show that years have passed. I don't know if it does, certainly because I didn't have the manual as a kid. I didn't understand that time had passed, so I was like, why has he got a beard all of a sudden? But yeah, I think being able to change your characters is a good idea. I think that's what you should be able to do. Like how you can pay I mean you can't in your playthrough Skyrim because you killed her. But the face shaper or whatever they're called in Riften.
Yeah. She's actually immortal, but I did my best to kill her.
Oh, she's essential. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Assumedly they realised that people were going to try and kill her because she insults you. Mm-hmm. Also, I think it's probably just that so no one kills her or she gets killed, and then afterwards they're like, oh no, I want to change the shape of my character's face.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, so many people are essential.
How ominous.
Like, I don't think
Oh
most of these
yeah!
people.
There's a zombie pigman in here.
Personally, if you ask me, I think very few people are essential. I think we could do without them. It wouldn't be a big a loss.
Did we never actually put a name tag on the zombie pigman?
Did we not? I thought we had done.
There's no name coming up. But I thought we had done.
Yeah.
I'd also forgotten that they trigger the. But there's so much tat in this these chests, by the way. We should probably like condense that back down.
I'm still doing work on it.
Oh, okay, good. Right.
In fact, I was on my way over to start.
Oh, nice. Oh, they've gone back through to the nether. Never mind.
Okay.
Well, this is a different zombie pigman. Let me investigate.
So yeah, is it the same one? Are we sure of that?
Oh, yeah. Oh no, this is Zorf and Snorful are through here.
Okay.
Hi, Loomis.
Hey. Oh, and they've got a friend.
Oh, so was it the friend?
Have we accidentally started a zombie pigman village?
I think we have, yeah.
Do zombie pigmen create more zombie pigmen?
I actually don't know. But I'd believe it. Yeah, this one's got no name. But Snorfel's here. So has Zorf gone through to our world?
I think so.
Ah, okay.
They're all going back and forth.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Been a while since we've been here. Whatever happened to that creature you rode around for a while?
I returned it to the wild.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They look visibly unwell when they're out of the lava, so felt like it was for the best.
Yeah, that's good thinking. I'm gonna get ready for bed. Night, Loomis. Thanks for streaming. Oh, thank you for keeping us company, B-Rat. Thanks for hanging out. Always appreciated. It will not be too much longer now. Oh wow, that's the time. Actually, later than I thought it was. So yeah, we'll be wrapping up soon anyway. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, B-Rat. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.
Night, B-Rat. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay,
I might have to hold off on continuing my project on this.
Oh.
So I'm realizing that I'll need to purchase a lot of construction materials. Obviously, we already have purchasing going on.
That's true.
Okay, I'll come back to this one then. But yeah, the original blueprints for the temple were. Well, I can do bits of it. I won't be able to. Yeah, I'll do some bits while I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Set things up in advance.
Nice. One thing I will say is, character creators. So the one in Baldur's Gate 3 looks really, really good. Main reason for me wanting to play the game, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, I love a good character creator. The other ones, I really like the one in Fallout 4. I know a lot of people don't like Fallout 4, but whatever. I really like the character creator there. I think it's really good. You're within a relatively narrow range, right? Because it's like 50s style Fallout person.
Yeah.
There's the golems handing out the flowers to the villagers. They're kind of ignoring the golem though, which is a shame. Put that boat back. Have a quick scoot. But it's really good, really, you can make a really nice looking character. It's like an ugly one. And what a lot of people I think don't realise is, you can actually change your character's hair and stuff later, which is kind of part of the point. That like the more you delve into the wasteland, the more you can like have wild tattoos and bizarre hair. I think a lot of people kind of missed that, and like, well, the one that you have at the beginning you must be stuck with, which is not true. Woohoo! Wow, you do just spin uncontrollably, don't you? Elder Scrolls Online, that's very fun. It's like the Skyrim one, but with a real focus on making your character look pretty. Because again, MMO, right? So people are going to see it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. They're going to see your character. And... Okay, I've scooted off the track. Yeah, this is definitely hard to control. Yeah. And you get some nice details, like you can have like little horns and antlers for the wood elves, or you can have pointy ears for the Bretons.
Yeah.
Like if you play as a Breton, like if you mess around with the ear flare or whatever it's called, it makes people's ears mildly pointy anyway, right? That's what it is. But for the Bretons, it gives them like a bit of an elven point, which is fun. They're elven heritage, aren't they? It's really fun. You can spend a lot of time in the character creator there. And Conan Exiles has got a good character creator as well. Like your characters are always like, to some degree, look like they're surviving in a wilderness, you know. Like your options kind of range from buff to wiry. But you've got quite a range of sizes in some areas. More than I expected, and it caught me out when I played the game. I was like, wow, those proportions are ridiculous. But there's also something inherently amusing to me about being able to give your character ridiculous proportions when you're supposed to be surviving in a harsh wilderness. But there we are. But the Baldur's Gate 3 one looks like it might be the best I've seen. I'm not sure. I'd have to like do it myself and spend time. You know, spend 6 hours adjusting your character's makeup. Like when I played Elder Scrolls Online with Angel, and he was like, "Are you ready yet?" I was like, "No, I'm just doing my character's eyebrows." Or whatever. "Are you ready yet?" "No, I'm doing her eyeshadow." "Are you ready yet?" "No, I'm doing a hair," etc., etc. For a very long time. Everything's like, "Are you ready yet?" "No, not yet." But anyway, we'll be wrapping up there. Have you got any final thoughts, Loomis?
Just speaking on the character creator stuff, you remind me a bit of the first Dragon Age game, where you're saying about the decorations for the wood elves. So I played a wood elf in the first Dragon Age, and like there were a ton of tattoo options, and I didn't go with any of them because like tattoos are fine, but they're not my aesthetic, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I don't feel like they'd work for me. And then I got into the actual game, and it's like, yeah, tattoos are the like most important part of wood elven culture. They're a huge part of your identity. Every wood elf is covered in tattoos with very important symbolic meanings. And like my character's the only wood elf in the game that doesn't have tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, I mean, I feel like I maybe missed something here. Like with a little more context, I might have made different choices.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that. Yeah, sometimes you find that in games, don't you? You like that's why it's good to be able to have the chance to change things later.
Yeah,
because perhaps if your first time playing a particular game in a series as well, you're going to know even less. So it's great to be able to have that chance.
Yeah. Actually, Dragon Age 2 had a bit of a similar issue in that you're, unlike other games in the series, you're playing a specific character. You're playing as Hawk, champion of Kirkwall.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like you still have the exact same range of creation options as well as like choosing your class and everything as you do in the other games. But you are playing a specific person who has like a canonical family that you don't see before you create your character. So there's a very good chance that your character is going to look nothing like his family members, particularly if you decide to make your version of Hawk a person of color, for example.
Yeah.
Their family are not going to be people of color.
No. At least you can like your kid adopts to you in Fallout 4 changes to match your skin tone.
Yeah.
Is that sure? You know, your new baby, like whatever you choose for yourself, is what your kid gets.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
But yeah, there we are. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you've had a nice time. Thank you, Loomis, for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
Always a pleasure. I'll be back on Sunday at around 1800 BST for more Minecraft. That's a lie. For painting models. Painted the Bile Predator. We didn't do one last Sunday because I was too busy getting ready to go back to work in the office that are at home. But one on Sunday, and then we'll be back on with Loomis a week today for more Minecraft at around 2000 BST. Which is
I'll be there.
excellent. It was a pleasure. Oh, I'm glad, Just Johnny. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. Hope you have a good evening. Thank you everybody for hanging out, chatting, and keeping us company. Always appreciated. I hope you have a good evening. / time zone.
Thank you for being here.
I'll let you say goodbyes, Loomis, and then I'll do mine.
Yeah, it's been good, everybody. Appreciated the company. Had a nice night. Hope to see you all next time.
So, I hope to see you all soon. Until then, take care, and Namarie.